Have you ever noticed how the entire vibe of your day changes the moment those first heavy monsoon clouds roll in? It's not just about the rain hitting the pavement or the smell of damp earth, it's that sudden, heavy pull to stay in bed. The way your morning coffee doesn't seem to kick in quite as fast. And that inexplicable craving for something fried and salty the moment the sky turns grey. It feels like our bodies are physically downshifting into a different gear.
It's fascinating you say that because we often treat the monsoon as just a change, engine weather, a logistical hurdle for our commute. But biologically, it's a massive environmental shift. Your body isn't just feeling lazy, it's actually responding to a complex set of signals: lower light intensity, shifting barometric pressure, and extreme humidity. All of these are essentially hacking your internal biological clock.
So, it's not just in our heads. There's an actual mechanical shift happening in our biology.
Absolutely. Think of your circadian rhythm as a 24-hour internal conductor. Its primary sheet music is light. When the monsoon hits, that sheet music gets blurred. We have these dark, cloudy mornings where the wake-up signal, that sharp blue light from the sun, is drastically muted. Without that signal, your brain doesn't fully suppress melatonin, the sleep hormone, and it doesn't get that sharp spike in cortisol needed to jumpstart your energy. You're essentially living in a biological twilight zone for half the day.
That explains the brain fog people talk about. It's like the body is waiting for a start button that never gets pressed firmly enough. But what about the physical heaviness? I'm not just talking about being tired. I mean that feeling where your limbs actually feel more difficult to move when it's humid.
That's the invisible load of humidity. In a typical dry heat, your sweat evaporates and cools you down. But during the monsoon, the air is already saturated with moisture. Your sweat has nowhere to go. It just sits there. This puts an immense amount of thermal stress on your system. Your heart has to work a little harder, and your cooling mechanisms are constantly running on high, but achieving very little. It's physically draining, even if you're just sitting at a desk.
I've also heard people complain about their joints or getting headaches right before a big storm hits. Is that just an old wives' tale? Or is the air pressure actually doing something to our tissues?
It's very real. Barometric pressure is the weight of the atmosphere pressing down on us. When a storm is brewing, that pressure drops. This change allows the tissues in your body, especially around your joints or in your sinuses, to slightly expand. If you could have any underlying inflammation or sensitivity, that expansion translates to pressure and pain. It's like your body is a barometer, sensing the storm before you even see a raindrop.
It's incredible how sensitive we are. But let's talk about the kitchen, because that's where the monsoon hits most of us first. Why is it that the second it starts pouring, all I want is a plate of hot fritters and a sugary tea? Is there a survival mechanism buried in that craving?
There actually is. When light levels drop, our serotonin levels, the feel-good neurotransmitter, often take a dip as well. Carbohydrates and fats are the quickest way for the body to trigger a temporary dopamine and serotonin release. It's a form of self-medication. Plus, the drop in external temperature makes us crave thermogenic foods, things that provide immediate warmth and energy. The problem is that in our modern world, we aren't burning those calories off by tilling fields in the rain. We're eating them while sitting on a couch. It creates this cycle of glucose spikes and subsequent crashes, which only adds to the sluggishness.
So we're eating for a mood boost, but the food itself ends up making us more tired in the long run. It's a bit of a trap, isn't it? If we're stuck indoors and our rhythm is off, how do we actually fight back? I mean, we can't make the sun come out.
We can't change the sky, but we can change the signals we give our brain. Even on a cloudy day, the natural light outside is significantly stronger than your indoor LED bulbs. The first rule of a monsoon reset is to get near a window or go out on a balcony for 20 minutes in the morning. You need to tell your brain, yes, it is daytime, wake up. And movement is the second best signal. If you can't go for a run because of the rain, You have to do some mobility work or a quick indoor circuit. Movement generates heat and tells your circadian clock that the day has begun.
It sounds like we need to be much more intentional during this season. It's easy to let the weather dictate our behavior. But you're saying we have to actively override those signals. What about sleep? I find I sleep longer in the monsoon, but I wake up feeling less refreshed. Why is the quality so different?
Humidity and dampness are the enemies of deep sleep. If your room is damp or your bedding is holding on to moisture, your body can't regulate its core temperature effectively during the night. Deep sleep requires a drop in core body temperature. If the air is thick and sticky, you stay in the lighter stages of sleep. Plus, there's the issue of indoor air quality. Mold and dust mites thrive in the monsoon, and even slight respiratory irritation can fragment your sleep without you realizing it.
That's a great point. We focus so much on the rain outside that we forget about the microenvironment inside our own bedrooms. It seems like the monsoon is really a test of our resilience and our ability to listen to our bodies. If someone is using a wearable, like a health ring or a smartwatch, what kind of data should they be looking for to see if the monsoon is winning?
Look at your heart rate variability or HRV. If you're seeing a downward trend in HRV despite not changing your workout routine, it's a sign that your nervous system is under stress, likely from the humidity or poor sleep quality. You might also see your resting heart rate creep up slightly. These are early warning signs that you need to prioritize recovery, hydration, and perhaps dial back the heavy fried foods. The data doesn't lie. It shows you exactly how much work your body is doing just to stay balanced in this climate.
It's almost like the monsoon is a stress test for our biology. If we can manage our light exposure, our movement, and our gut health during these months, we're actually training our bodies to be more adaptable.
Exactly. It's not a season to endure, it's a season to tune. We've evolved to handle seasonal shift, but our modern lifestyle, with our screens and our processed comfort foods, makes us lose touch with those adaptations. If you can maintain a warm, protein-rich diet, keep your indoor space dry, and stay disciplined with your morning light, you'll find that the monsoon blues don't have to be a given.
I love that perspective. It's about shifting from being a victim of the weather to being an active participant in our own biology. Instead of just seeing the rain as a reason to cancel plans, we can see it as a signal to refine our internal routines.
Precisely. The monsoon is a reminder that we are biological beings connected to the planet. When the environment changes, we must change too. It's a beautiful, rhythmic process if you know how to navigate it. You start to realize that the sluggishness isn't a flaw, it's just a request from your body for better support.
As we wrap up this discussion, it's clear that the monsoon is far more than just a season of umbrellas and raincoats. It's a profound shift in how our internal clocks, our hormones, and our metabolism function. We've talked about the twilight zone of cloudy mornings, the invisible physical load of humidity, and why our brains practically scream for comfort food the moment the temperature drops.
It really comes down to awareness. If you understand that your body is searching for light and movement, you can provide those things artificially or intentionally. You don't have to let the barometric pressure dictate your mood or the humidity dictate your energy levels. By managing your environment, keeping your living space dry, prioritizing sleep hygiene, and choosing warming, digestible proteins over endless fried snacks, you're essentially recalibrating your system to thrive in conditions that would otherwise wear you down.
It's a powerful thought to leave our listeners with. The next time you hear the thunder or see the clouds gathering, don't just think about whether you have an umbrella. Think about your biological clock. Ask yourself, how am I going to give my body the light and movement it needs today? The monsoon doesn't have to be a season of fatigue. With a few smart adjustments, it can be a season of incredible resilience and deep restorative recovery.
Well said, your body is always listening to the climate. The question is, are you listening back? If you pay attention to the data and the signals, you can turn this chaotic weather into a physiological advantage. Stay dry, stay active, and keep your internal rhythm steady, no matter what's happening outside your window.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into monsoon biology. We hope this helps you navigate the coming rains with a bit more clarity and a lot more energy. Until next time, keep listening to your body's rhythm.